Rondo, and I am absolutely delighted to welcome you to the Sarah National Session, where we get to engage together and learn together and grow together. And gosh, I just look forward to each and every week. So here is the deal. Let me tell you about our speaker today. It's part two of a two-part session. Even if you missed part one, do not worry. Today's is still going to be incredibly helpful and enriching, and you'll be able to catch the replay of part one on YouTube. So the title is Begin with the End in Mind with Veronica Still, who is a project expansion manager and financial coach. And she's really taken a second shot at life. It's really interesting. She has transitioned from working as an educator of our students to now really kind of educating the rest of us. She is a wife, a mother, an entrepreneur. She said her family really inspires her to learn and grow every day. She was an instructional coach for an independent school district. And then what her family did was they took a huge leap of faith and they jumped on a business opportunity in the financial industry. So financial industry is large, but what she covers specifically is investment, mortgage, and insurance. And so then their team helps families create individualized plans. She also works as a mentor in the industry. We really learned a lot from Veronica last week. So if you missed that one, I highly recommend going back after the session is over and catching part one so that you can lean into some of that inspiration. And without further ado, I'm going to mute myself and check for your questions so I can take notes on those. And Veronica, take it away. So good to see you.
Hi, Jenny. I'm really glad to see you again. Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here with you again. I'm really thankful for this opportunity. The opportunities that we should all embrace. And, whenever an opportunity knocks, you run. If you are really looking, you jump. Like they say, if you're looking, you jump. And in Spanish, es el que anda buscando, el que busca salta, right? And so you just do it. And sometimes if we go through life doubting things, you're gonna miss because we let fear or all these questions just go, and you address it and you adjust as you go. And so again, I'm Veronica Still, and we are wrapping up today the session beginning with the end in mind. And before we get started, I did want to say again, thank you to the SET organization for allowing me to be here today. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I appreciate you trusting me and give me again that opportunity to share what the little of what we have, and I hope that I'm able to inspire you, not really motivate you because motivation just goes down the drain quick, but really inspire you to think big, to go all out, because you have it in you. All of us have everything we need to be successful. We just got to know how to get to it. And so again, thank you to Jenny for your spirit. You're amazing. I don't even know you, but I love your spirit. You're awesome. You're easy to work with, and Raul too for just being a great person. Very easy to work with too, with the tech issues and everything like that. And of course, Natalie Cooper. Thank you again. You're an amazing leader. So if you're here today, you are again in for a treat. You're in for a treat because this organization provides the resources that you need as entrepreneurs, or if you're looking to become an entrepreneur. This is it. This is your organization. If you missed the last one, go get it. They're going to have it on YouTube, but I am going to go over just a little bit of what we talked about yesterday. As Jenny mentioned, I am a former teacher, and so that's what we do. We always talk about what we did in the past and then make that connection for today. And so again, I'm Veronica Still. I do have two kids, and of course my husband. I have Carter and William. They're two amazing kids who really inspire me. They push me when I think about them. Like they say, they just make me emotional. And so it has been an emotional week because one of them got really sick, but I do thank God that he's better, and he's embracing his medication. He has medicines to take, and including the what is it, nebulizer? I don't know if that's what it's called. And so, yeah, that's what he's taking too. So he definitely looks forward to that. And I am an expansion manager as well, and a financial coach. And definitely we love helping people. And I'm actually looking forward to becoming a broker here within the next few months. I work with very highly successful brokers as well, leaders in all over the United States, and we're expanding. And so I'm just very happy about that. And of course, the BBS school that we have a business school where we provide mentorship for leaders that want to grow their businesses in the financial industry. And so before we get started, I did want to talk about the beginning with the end in mind and the importance of that. I don't have the slides, but I do want to guide you through that. And the big question for you is that what is it that you really want? When you wake up every day, what is it that you think about? Do you just really jump out of your bed and just go and just live day to day? Or are you living a life that's actually intentional, a life that's going to take you places, a life that is going to take you places and and you're taking others with you? Is your example, are you leading by example? Are you leading your family by example? If you're married or you have a spouse or your partner, your children, are you leading the example for your children, of course, for your business? And so it is so crucial that we do that. You know, I was listening to a sermon the other day, and he was talking about how stress is one of the major killers in the United States because everybody's stressed out of their mind. And so perhaps maybe think about it. Why are people stressed out? Because a lot of times we put that stress on ourselves. We're just all over the place. We live in a chaotic world as it is. And sometimes when we don't plan and we don't think, that's what happens. You end up saying yes to a lot of things, forgetting what you already have to do. Like if somebody says, "Hey, let's go out to dinner," and you say yes, but you already have a commitment with your family, or you already have a commitment with school. And so people add on all of these things because they're just running and they're going, and they don't even know exactly where they're going. And so what I really want you to take today as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, is what is my legacy going to be? What do I really want? Do I really want to live a day to day, or do I really want to reach the end of my cycle as a successful person? What did I do to change people's lives? What did I do? What am I doing? And so if that's important to you, then this is for you. But if you're like, oh, I just want to pay my bills, I'm not worried about my friend, I'm not worried about, because there are people like that. There are people that are just in it for themselves. You could still probably learn today too. I believe you can. If you have an open mindset that this really can be for you as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share. That's me. I combed my hair that day. Okay, so let's talk about these are the four objectives that we were talking about, and the first three that we talked about last week, I'm going to run through them again. It says, what do you really want? And we talked about the importance of what that is. We talked about the visualizations and the dreams and goals. Guys, I know that life takes you and it will stomp all over you, and I think that's why a lot of people have stopped dreaming. There was an article that I read that it talked about when people reach about the age of 30, they're done. They're just going to take whatever life gives them. Isn't that sad? That's really sad. And so people just, they're like, oh, okay. And they're just not doing anything. And a lot of people sometimes think that, oh, well, financial freedom is for those people that are educated, those people that went to college. Or no, that's actually, not for me. This is not the class. That's for rich people. And so people tend to forget that, or they let their lives, their past lives, like where they grew up in, like, I grew up in poverty, on food stamps, on Medicaid. And so we had all of the financial assistance that you could think of. And so, that some people allow themselves for that to determine who they are. And they're like, well, I don't know, the government. And so they're blaming everybody except for themselves. Okay, so that visualization process is going to be one of the biggest things that's going to help you. As humans, we need to know how we were made. And I am going to be a little biased because I am a believer. And so as a believer, I embrace who I am, and I embrace how I was made. And I know that I was made for a greater purpose. I know that I was made for greater things. And so because of that, I also embrace how God says I need to be. Being able to have that ability to control myself, to not fear anything, because doesn't come from above. It comes from somewhere else. And so embracing all of that, I'm able to embrace and dream and be able to think about the things that are possible. And so when you think about that, you have to think about the bigger picture. So when we're thinking about visualizations, I don't know if some of you are able to see what I see on my screen, but even if you don't, I want you to think about, what is it that you want? What is that end result? What if you're thinking about retirement, what do you want retirement to look like? What does financial freedom look like to you? What does it look like, paying your house, paying for your kids' college? Does it look like you leaving an inheritance for your family? Like, what does that look like? Are you traveling with your spouse? Where are you guys going? What are you guys eating? Who are your friends? Who are traveling with you? Who's traveling with you? And so when you think about those things, that signals to your brain, like it's like a movie that your brain needs to start seeing so that it can automatically start doing, because your brain needs direction. Your brain is like your brain needs that GPS, and that's why the visualization part is so important. And so, like I said, look at the video that the prior video so that you can see a little more into detail about that. And then we talked about the self-development, which we're going to go into a little bit of more detail in that as well. And what that looks like, the self-love, the books, the personal growth, and how all of this is going to help you. Look, when I thought about beginning with the end in mind, this is going to be big because look, I don't know if a lot of you know this, that this is huge, okay? About 90% of businesses, small businesses fail within the first 5 years. They fail because most people tend to work on their product. Did you know that? Like, you're just focused on that burger. You're focused on that hair bow. You're focused on other things that are good, but at the end of the day is you have to focus on yourself first. You have to change that mindset, and you have to be prepared to go to battle. And that's why a lot of people fail, because they focus on the other things that are important, but that's not the priority. The priority is for you to understand what you want, visualize, start preparing for success, and start preparing and what is it, and growing, of course, in your faith, and growing your mental toughness. You need to be growing that stamina, like all of, because there's going to be so many things that are going to be coming at you. But if you're not ready through that self-development, then how are you supposed to succeed? As Because there's going to be so many things out there, and that's why you have to be ready for that. And that's why the self-development, we touched that because it's such a huge piece. Remember, beginning with the end in mind. We're not even talking business. We're talking about you. We're talking about, what am I doing first, so that whenever the business comes, you're ready to go. You have all your ducks set in place, or however I don't know how they say it. Your ducks are aligned. They're ready to go. Okay. And then, of course, the taking action. That's the piece that I wanted to talk about. The personal and the family time and the business schedule, perhaps not what you really, again, are thinking about. But before we move on, I wanted to take you through this little exercise. If you want to do it with me, do it. Take your notebook out, or go ahead and draw this. I wanted you to see an example of this right here, because when you start the visualization process that is going to help you get to the end in mind, you need to have all of the trash, all the negative thinking. You need to throw it out. You get it out. All of that is going to be very important, that you put it in a piece of paper, and that you start thinking about the things that are holding you back. Okay. And this is something that could be done during your meditation process. This is something that could be done during your self-development time, during your quiet time, whatever that looks like. But I really hope that you screenshot this, you take a picture, so that you can see an example of some of the things that we say to ourselves that are really limiting you. And so, and then you're also here, you see the example of how to shift that thinking. Okay. All right. So there's a disclaimer here. This is only going to work, but you also have to put the work in it. Okay. So let me show you an example, and I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about. It says the limited belief. No, I'm not good with people. Okay. Well, guess what? That's terrible, because you're a business person. You have to be good with people. You don't have a choice. Okay. So you have to be good with people. Right. But now, if you're like, well, I'm not. Okay. Well, then instead of saying that, say, I'm a great communicator. All right. I'm not a people person. As business people, you cannot say that. All right. I mean, again, unless you're thinking about making a few $100s here and there. I mean, even then, I mean, Jenny, you would agree, right, that you still have to, at some degree, like people, fake it, smile, right? And so, what do you say instead of that? I love talking to people. I embrace people, right? Or I'm not good with names. I'm sure a lot of us say that. Oh, I'm not good with names. I'm sure sometimes we just say it and we don't even know what we're saying, right? I'm not good with names. No, I'm good at remembering names. I remember her name. Yeah, I remember. Um, I'm not good with numbers. Well, I put this one on here because that's actually very important for business people. But I have something for you. I have something. This is what you can say. I have a calculator, okay? You don't have to be if you were never good at math and you didn't know how to do the sharing, the regrouping, or none of that stuff, guess what? It's okay because you have a calculator. Or even better, you can ask for help. I can just ask for help. I need a little bit of help in this area. This one is a really bad one, guys. I forget everything. That's a terrible thing to say. Don't say that. If you forget everything, you probably need to start writing things down. How about that? Write it down. Write it down. Instead, also say, I'm great at remembering things, but most importantly, write them down. Or I'm broke, I'm poor, I can't afford it. Instead, say, how can I afford it? Or, or I have a budget. I have to stick within my means here. Or that doesn't fit in my budget. Okay, that's a different way of saying that. Or the last one, I don't know if you've noticed, but I, as a Hispanic person, my parents were awesome, but, my mom was a little more of a she spoke more freely than my dad, so she would be like mensa all the time. I don't know if a lot of you can connect to that, but that's a Hispanic word for, like, dumb. So sometimes I catch myself like, "Ay, mensa." That's bad. That's it's saying I'm stupid or I'm dumb, like, don't say that. No, you're supposed to say, "I'm intelligent, I'm wise, I'm smart." So this exercise right here is going to help you a lot, um, to really bring out all of those negative things that you have that you didn't even know. And if you cannot think of any, that's a good thing perhaps for you, but do think about it because a lot of times these things are what hold you back. And then again, those are the ones that stop you from dreaming because perhaps you're too dumb to get that $1,000,000 deal because you're not good with numbers. So nope, you can't get that $1,000,000 deal. I'm not good with people, so I'm gonna mess up that presentation. I'm not gonna be a good connector when I'm presenting that whatever it is that you have. You see how all of these things connect? Oh man, but how am I gonna talk in front of all these people if I forget everything? It is all connected. And so please take that time. I did wanna come back to that, again, as a teacher, you analyze the things that you could do different, and I think that I could have added this, so I'm adding it now so that you see we're all in a learning, in the learning curve, so I hope that this is able to help you, but never, never forget this and do that. That's one thing that I believe that helped us when we were in class. Our mentor really pushed this a lot. And so the other thing that I was wanting to connect with this too is through your self-development, you will become a good communicator because you will read books that tell you how to be a better speaker, how to speak with confidence in front of an audience, how to socialize with people, read another book or watch videos on how to sell. I don't know. Or there's a lot of books that talk about memory techniques. Don't let the world close on you just because you have all of these things. It doesn't matter because if you have a mindset of growth, a growth mindset, you'll be able to surpass all of these things. There's this book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's a really good book that you should definitely read and it's really helpful, okay? And if you're poor and you're broke, guess what? You might need help. You need to contact somebody that can help you with that because you can't do everything. And I'm actually a financial coach, so I can help you too. I'll give you my email later. Or I can't afford things. Well, you really need to get yourself on that budget. But I don't know how to do a budget. Okay, get help. Again, don't let the world close on you. And if you continue without self-development, you will start to get more intelligent. You will start to get more wise. You will start to get that. You see, like everything is all connected, and there's also like there's something for everything. So let's not let these things close on you. All right. And what about this, Veronica? I don't like to read. They have audiobooks. Okay. Don't forget your audiobooks. I don't have time to read. Turn your vehicle into a library. Okay. So if you were to go in my car, you will hear music, but you will hear two things. You will hear me listening to, it's called XO Marriage. I listen to marriage podcast. That's what I do because I'm married, and that's a huge deal for me, especially because I am a sinner and I am selfish, so I have to stay connected. So I listened to that. I listened to Grant Cardone. He's a very, very real, successful entrepreneur. Okay, there's always something for something. There's always something that we can do. And this is not something that I thought. This is something that my mentors always tell us. Or so if my mentor also sends us a clip of audios that we need to listen to, if I don't have time, guess where I'm listening to them? In the car while we're driving, so that you don't just mindlessly just drive. Like, no, your car, your vehicle becomes your classroom as well. So number four. So now let's go ahead and get talking about the taking action. All right. So this is the type of action again where you're setting yourself up for success, especially if you have a family. And I believe that this was a big one for me as a stay-at-home mompreneur. I take full pride in being a stay-at-home mom, but I'm also a wife, and I'm also a businesswoman. So this right here is very, very critical. I don't know where you are in life. I don't know if you're married or not, or if you, wherever you are, you still need to take action, and you still need to set up yourself an agenda. And so I'm going to take you back to my teaching days, how when I was in teaching, we had to start with literally talk about what the kids needed to learn, and then the steps that we're going to take, and then the test that the kids were going to take in order for me to know that the kids learned. All right. But there is no, absolutely no way that a teacher can get all of that done if she doesn't have her classroom discipline. Did you know that? Because she can have the best lesson plan and she can have the best activities, but if she doesn't have a disciplined class, he or she is not going to get anywhere. She's going to try to talk, and kids are going to be all over the place. They're going to be, you know, just running out of the classroom. They're perhaps going to be talking over each other. So one thing that the teacher does is she's consistent with her procedures and her routines. She has structure in her classroom so that she's able to teach. Because I was a coach, so I've seen beautiful lesson plans. I've seen teachers have this amazing lesson, but the kids are all over the place. And the teacher was a great teacher, but she couldn't get teaching here. She couldn't she couldn't do it because everybody was all over. And so we've seen, it's just, I can still imagine that day because it's just been, and we had to take this teacher, we had to an action plan together so that she could, we had to give her little tips here and there to get the class organized. And even if, I don't know if you knew this, but even when you're a teacher, the first 6 weeks, you're only working on rules and procedures. Okay, this is how, at this time we're going to do this, at this time we're going to do that. And when we're about to start math, we're going to play this song, and you're going to all come to the circle, and we're going to sing. And when Miss Garcia raises her hand like this, that means that I need to be quiet. Do you see where I'm going? Like, all that structure. So guess what? You're gonna have to do the same thing for your house, for your household, or even if you're by yourself. And so you need to plan the day, plan the month, and plan the year. Okay. But before, before you get overwhelmed, you start a day at a time. You start a day at a time. Okay. Once you get that day at a time going, I forgot week on there, but once you get that day going, you go out a week at a time. Go out a week at a time. And then after the week, if you're getting good at it, then plan your month. And then plan your year if that's possible. I got this from Jim Rohn. Do you know who Jim Rohn is? Some of you? Yeah, you do? Okay, great. He's awesome. You'll see him on the shorts and you'll see him on the reels. He's an older person. He already passed away, but start like that. And in this, you need to start incorporating, what time am I going to be doing my self-care? Or if you have values, if you go to church, or if you have your family time, your meditation piece, or what time are you going to be doing business? And so this piece is very crucial because you want to be present. You want to be present on every moment. If you are doing self care, focus on your self care. Don't think about work. If you're at work, don't think about your kids. Think about work. If you're feeling, uh, perhaps if you're feeling a little guilty while you're at work, um, it's maybe because maybe you're not being present while you're with your kids. Okay. And if you're with your kids, be present with your kids and don't think about work. Okay. But Veronica, what if somebody calls me? You need to already have that set in place to where you tell if you're gonna tell the whatever on your website or on your Instagram, you need to say, these are my office hours, or this is the time that I'm gonna be available to you. And let that become your norm because you want to respect your business and you want people to respect yours. But what if I lose clients? Then those aren't the clients that you want because those are the clients that are going to keep you away from your family. Those are the clients that are going to stress you out. Those are the clients that are not good clients. That they're just being selfish. And ask yourself, do I need that type of client? You know what I mean? But if you start that from the very beginning, then you should be okay. And even if you haven't started from the beginning, start it now. If you're like, "You know what? I'm ready to get my life together. I'm ready to get this business going. I'm ready to start being all over the place," then I would suggest you to start putting it on there. Hey, not hey, but, starting November 20th, my office hours are from 5 to 8. If you call me after 8, you will receive a phone call within the next 24 hours, or you will receive the phone call the next business day, something like that. All right? Does that make sense? All right, this is a sample schedule. It's my sample schedule, but I wanted to give you an example, and it's kind of, and if you need to screenshot it, screenshot it. I'm a visual person, so I kind of needed to see a little bit on there, but self-care. That's I have a, what do you call it? I have real back pain. Like it's very, I lost the word, but it's there every day. Like I wake up in pain every day. So
Like
I
chronic pain.
Yes, thank you. That's the word. Thank you, Jay. So I have chronic back pain because I hurt myself picking up something really heavy one day, and I've never been the same since then. Okay. And so I have to literally roll out of bed, brush my teeth. That's the first thing I have to do, y'all, because I cannot brush my teeth after breakfast. I don't know how people do that. I can't even enjoy my breakfast. Ugh, I don't know. It's just not good. Okay, so I'm that one. I brush my teeth right away. So I literally roll out of bed and stretch. I cannot do anything else because that's how bad in pain I am. Okay, so that right there, that's my self care. And if I'm feeling okay, then I will exercise. Because sometimes it's too much that I can't even exercise. So that's why my first thing is I stretch. Okay, then this is also the time where we pray and I read and I do the visualization. Okay, so read. What does Veronica read? I read my Bible. I read my Bible, or I read a book that has to do with anything I'm reading. Like right now, I'm reading, I'm currently reading two books. I'm reading this one, The Power of Mind, and I'm also reading a book that's called Sacred Parenting. It's called Sacred Parenting. And I love that book because it talks about how kids really come to teach us. Because I know a lot of us want to teach them, but they're the ones who change our lives. They're the ones who teach us. And so it's a beautiful thing. So from 6 or 6:30, that's the time I start, I wake up or I start doing, I exercise, I do what I can. But this is a self-care. So why am I showing you this, guys? Because I'm just giving you example, because sometimes I always think, well, what do these schedules look like? What do I do? Well, there you go. So then I have mom duty. Okay, because I am a stay-at-home mom, so around 7:30 to 12. This is a moment where I try not to focus on my work, on the business or anything like that. There is something that we do, we listen to a phone call, but other than that, I try to stick within that, and I cook and I clean for my we know I cook, I clean, and then we do schoolwork because I'm also homeschooling my son. So we work on math. I know, right? I'm working on math, we're working on reading, we're working on something with both of them. So 12 to 2, that's the time where my son takes a nap. Okay, that's the time where I'm like, okay, let me come back and let me sit down. And this is where I'm also studying. Remember, well, in the beginning, I mentioned to you that I'm becoming a broker here in the next few months. And so that's the time that I used to study or self-develop, or I'm on social media trying to connect with people. Okay, so that's the time frame. That's a wiggle room for me to be able to do something for my business. Or let's just say that here on the self-care, I didn't get to read the Bible or something. I'll put that in here. Okay. And then family time, time with my husband and dinner. Now, this one right here, again, this is based on me. It's very important. Family time is very important to my husband. I mean, extreme. Like it's like no, we have to be present. So that's a time where we're together. We cook dinner, watch something, but we're just doing something together. Okay. And I have gotten in trouble because he's like, "What are you doing? Get off your phone, blah, blah, blah." Right? Being real with you. So this is what I was telling you. It's like we have to be present. And then at 7 to 9, we do the business. I do the business. We do have the business school, or I'm either working with a client, doing an application, um, or doing social media again. I create reels, or I talk to, or again, I'm trying to connect with people, trying to connect with new and potential clients. So whatever that looks like to you, whatever you're doing on your social media, talk to your people, interact with them, and all that. And then, of course, we have the how I'm growing my business, or I'm in business meetings. And then at the end, we're wrapping up the day, and with through visualization, again, the prayer, like just kind of close the night, and then the healthy habits, trying to close the night. And on here on this side, Wednesdays are already blocked for family night. So I will not set up, it is rare when I try to set up something on a Wednesday night because it's family night. Like that one is like crossed out, nothing. And then our office days, as you see, you have the different office days. So if you get yourself something like this is going to help you. Remember how I was telling you, this is not exactly what you think it is, but this is really going to help you structure your mind, structure how to ensure that you're already including your business on there, but you're including your duties as a parent, you're including your family time, and of course, you're doing something for yourself as well. Okay. And so, one thing that I wanted you to also remember, whenever you're doing the visualization piece, you want to also, when you have that clear, if you're married or you have a spouse, speak together, do it together, and then share it with your children. You want your children to also know what the goal is, where you're trying to go, why you're doing what you're doing. Because when you're doing your schedule, and let's just say you are, I don't know, let's just say you are right here on the business. It's already 7 o'clock, and my son comes and he's like, "Mommy, let's play. Mommy, let's this." All right, Carter. Remember that we already had family time at this time. Remember what's our goal? Remember that our goal is to, I don't know, let's just say just a short-term goal, that we're trying to, like, one of our team members, we're gonna go on this cruise in July, so mommy has to work, right? But when you've already involved your family, they already all in the same picture, so they know that you're not abandoning them and you're not leaving them. So then it'll be easier for you not to feel guilty at that moment because it's already clear in their mind. Your kids or your family is not just, oh, they're just working all the time, just making money. They're just so money hungry. And I say it because I've seen it, and they tell me that sometimes too. Not them, the other family. Like people have to, or and other friends are like, oh, they're just money hungry. But if you already have that clear vision in your mind, you've already spoken to your spouse, you share that with your kids are gonna start to understand. Because at the end of the day, you don't want your kids to come back and tell you that you hurt them. You don't want your kids to have to get over a trauma that you caused because you were all over the place. Because there's a lot of no, there's a lot of trauma out there even as adults because our parents didn't know what they were doing. Our parents perhaps they weren't developed. They didn't self-develop, and they were always working. They had their heart and mind. They had the mind. They had it straight, but they never could tell you. I mean, you automatically assumed what they were doing, but you see what I'm saying? You don't want that. You want your kids to be able to say, "Man, my mom or my father, they're doing it. They're working hard, they're doing it. They still give me time, even if it's 2 hours, but you're present and you make it about themselves." We put our phones away, like my husband said, put our phones away, and we embrace those moments with everything that we have. Imagine how many memories that you're gonna make. Your kids are not likely going to get onto you because you're always working, because they know that if you tell them, "Hey, tomorrow's family night," they're gonna look forward to that movie, or if you tell them, "We're gonna go out to dinner," they're gonna trust that you're taking them to that movie. They're gonna trust that you're taking them to the water park if that's what you had decided, because you're being consistent with family nights. You're being consistent with your family time. And so I really want you guys to think about that, because as business owners, guys, it's a battle out there. There's so much. And if you can control it, which you can, do it. And so once you start going out there and start working, um, it's easy to forget what the priorities. But if you have them set straight, if you already know that you're getting your self-care in, that you're getting your mommy duties or your father duties, you're getting your study time, you're getting your business, then that's when you get to start going into your business on the right foot, in my opinion. I mean, and this has really helped me a lot, especially for those of us who are visuals. And so, I hope that this piece right here helped you a lot. If you need to screenshot it, screenshot it. It's up to you. And let me go ahead and move to the next one. See if it'll go. If it doesn't go, then I'll just read it to you. All right. So,
It's all
uh,
good. Yeah, it's all good.
yeah. So I'm gonna read you. I don't know if you've seen the movie Alice in Wonderland. It's an old movie. I never saw it myself either until recently, because my husband is a movie person, and he was like, "Hey, you have to watch this movie." And I said, "Okay, fine." But anyway, because we are talking about this piece right here, I want you to listen to this. It's from Alice in Wonderland. It says, "Would you tell me, please?" This is the cat and Alice having a conversation. So it says, "Would you please tell me which way I ought to walk from here?" And then the cat says, "Well, that depends a good deal on where you want to get to," said the cat. And says, "Well, I don't much care where," said Alice. And then the cat said, "Well, it doesn't matter which way you walk." Those that really touched me a lot, because it's so true. Like, if you don't know where you're going, well, it don't matter. Just wake up every day and do you, and just be stressed out of your mind. Or wake up with a sense of intention, and a sense of purpose. What do you want your family to remember you by? What is that legacy that you're leaving them? Not don't leave your family with just money, because you're definitely leaving them broke. You want to leave them with the legacy of an abundance of wealth, but wealth of forgiveness. You want a nation that knows how to forgive. You want your family to be able to also be perseverant, to also be courageous. You want your family to not give up when things get bad. You you want your family to know that you know how to get back up. That even though I fail, just for a little bit, but I'm back up, right? And so you don't want that family to try to get over a trauma, because there's a lot of us adults that come with trauma. But you don't want that. You want that to stop with you. You want to change this generation, because this world is crazy. This world is mad. And so I want to end with this. I want you to be prepared. Um I want you to be prepared for battle. Okay. I think this is one of the big keys here for today too, beginning with the end in mind. Knowing that you're going for battle, knowing that business will be a challenge. Challenges will be presented. People are going to let you down. Perhaps you're going to run out of money. Perhaps you're thinking that your business is going, but then no, it's not. It's a false start. Um, People are gonna betray you, okay? People are gonna say, "Oh, I'm gonna buy it from you," and they don't buy nothing. It's happened. "Oh, call me tomorrow." You call them, they don't answer. Yeah, right? And so you're probably gonna get upset with your spouse. Your spouse is gonna be upset at you. Your kids are probably gonna be mad. Family day didn't happen today. There's a lot of things. As long as you know that, and you still keep going. Like, it doesn't matter what happens, as long as you know that all of these things are gonna come, that it's okay to be sad, but control your emotions. Control them and be like, "Okay, is there a solution for this? Yes, there's a solution. Okay, then let me just calm down. There's no reason for me to get crazy. There's no reason for me to be upset. There's no reason for me to do crazy, right?" And so just keep going. Keep going. Embrace problems so that you can grow wiser. Embrace them. And so at the end of the day, don't look to the left, don't look to the right. If you gotta look down, just look down real quick, but keep your eyes, keep them up because that's where everything is. All right. So I hope that I was able to help you. I did want to let me see if I can again share my screen so that you can see uh, my email. My email is stellarstill87@gmail.com. And that's my number. If you ever need to talk, and if you ever need to pray with somebody, or if you're like, I need prayer or whatever, call me. I believe that my purpose in life is to also guide others through a spiritual life. And that's actually my handle for Instagram as well. It's stellar_still, if you want to follow me there. Um, And we are in expansion. So if you are looking for a business opportunity, if you have been thinking about that and you are like, I need to get on it, definitely contact me so that I can guide you through the process and help you through our and help you and get you in our business school. And I think you're gonna be in good hands. So if you already have that, take your screenshot, and that is it for me.
Awesome. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Veronica. And I'm sure people will be reaching out to you to, work with you in some capacity or another. Thank you so much for everything today. And just a shout out to everybody who's on today. If you have a specific question about, her routine or her schedule or what she does or how she shifted her mindset, please do post it in the chat. But I've got plenty of questions myself. When we're going back to, I loved the example that you gave about, I'm not good with numbers versus I have a calculator. Sometimes I think when you're trying to shift a mindset, the thing that you're shifting to can feel so unattainable that it's like, oh, I can't even think of that. But that example was so excellent because the I have a calculator isn't necessarily claiming that you're great at numbers, so to speak, but it's an action step. Can you speak to, how those action steps or how just like opening up your mind to like, I can have the tools can change, how you experience your day or your business?
Yes, and so yes, I remember somebody saying like where I don't know how old you are or how because you look so young.
You too. You
Thank
too.
you.
We're
Because you know how
young,
they because you know how they say the teachers used to say, "No, you can't use a calculator because you're not gonna have calculators in the future when you."
but we do. We have them.
Yeah, and they're on your phone. They're on your phone. And so look, as simple as going to your calculator. Look, and I think, Jenny, I think too, whenever you were in school and they were trying to teach you how to do all those algorithms and try to do everything like that, and I think that also messes people up.
It's true.
Because sometimes it's like, man, I don't know how to do that. I don't even know how to. But guys, it doesn't matter. You have a calculator. Shoot, go to Google. Google, what's the square root of, I don't know, whatever, 64, I don't know, whatever, but I think at the end of the day, if I love Jim Rohn because he says, do you know how much information the library has and how there's so many things that you could learn just by reading? And at the end of the day, you wanna resource you is it source you wanna source things out. You don't wanna do everything yourself. I mean, now you gotta do your basic stuff, like, whenever you're doing accountability and you're checking your numbers. I mean, come on now. If you're ch and you aren't there systems to where, like, when it'll tell you it'll automate your sales for the week or, and then, trying to come up with your profits. Now, guys, that's very simple math. That's very simple math that really the calculator can help you. But definitely, having that mindset that it's okay that you're not good, understanding that, but stop calling it because our brains are really like I love what I heard one day where it says they're eavesdropping and it's listening to everything that you're saying. That's why it's so important to be very mindful on how you say things. And so if needed, hire somebody to help you. But if you're in the beginning stages of your business, then you really get your calculator and do the basic math and then hire somebody at the end of the year to do your taxes. Or what is that turbo apps the for the taxes? I don't know what it's called, but
Oh yeah, TurboTax. Yes,
yeah, where
TurboTax.
you just
And I can even do it. Like, yeah.
just plug them in. Just plug them in. Don't let everything just shut down on you.
Yeah, it's true, and I think it just recognizing that there are tools out there to help you, and that most of business is figuring things out as opposed to just being like good at one skill. Because every day I imagine in business, there's something that comes up that you didn't know how to do the day before.
Yes, yes. Well, thank God for us. We don't have that. We don't have to think about all of that because that's already
It's
that's
already
already
set up in
taken
the
care. Oh
system.
yeah, that's already set up. We just plug in numbers and we go. And so that's the amazing thing about our business and what we do, our business model. Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, I loved when you shared your schedule. I thought that was really interesting because a big complaint, especially with, stay-at-home parents, whether it's a mom or a dad, is that, gosh, I just don't have the time. And so what I noticed about your schedule was that you were so creative and strategic about finding these chunks of time. And like I think there was like a Wednesday or a Thursday that you're working like 6 to 10 p.m. or something, or
Yeah.
you're finding these sort of off hours to make things happen. Can you speak about that, about how you're able to find these windows of time even with homeschooling?
Yeah, so one of the things that I was sharing with our team was that I have see, the main thing is you really have to track yourself and how much you're on your phone. Like because your phone will really and I promise you I'm speaking to myself. If you are not careful, your phone will take up so much time because I'm like, let me check how much time I've been on here. Oh shoot, 45 minutes. Dang it. In those 45 minutes, I could have worked out. Oh my gosh, those no, seriously, that was my like, oh man, I could have read a story to my kids at that moment. Something. And so first you got to track that. But yeah, and so the amazing thing about this, Jenny, is if you're a business owner, you have to understand what you have in your hands. You are the creator of your schedule. Let that sink in. You organize your schedule. So that's a big deal. If you understand that, then you should know that you manage your own time. You set up your schedule. So and you know what I think the bad thing is too is that we as business owners we haven't shifted our mindset from an employee mindset to a business person, and I think that's a huge deal. So we're just have these habits of being employees, but if we were to apply everything that we did at our jobs, if we were to apply it here, I think we would a lot of us would take it out the water. It would just be amazing. But I was listening to Grant Cardone, and those of you who don't know who that is, he's a huge deal. But he talks about time as well, and he's like, I don't know how all of you say that you don't have time. He's like, I do this, I do this, I do this, and that. And he's a big, I mean, granted, he probably has systems in place. He probably has people hired working for him. But guys, I think at the end of the day, set your schedule. Have your phone, your phone also has the Google Calendar. You can Google put the stuff on there where you can also have your book to where you're looking at things and don't overdo yourself. Like in our business, we have that time that mindset to where look, no more parties right now, maybe here and there. Like I have to focus on the business because if I'm trying to reach this amount of money by this amount of time, like I really don't have time to be playing with you. I don't have time to go and do it. So now you become very, very, very picky on what you do. And so for me, I'm like, okay, from 8:30 to like 12, I already know that I cannot add anything else. But since I'm a business person, what I do is um, I'm very strategic. And so during that time, because I am a networker, like and a business person, I tend to go and go to the park. So I get to meet people. My kids get to play. So now you're hello. So
Sorry, keep going. We're loving
no,
it.
no, no, no. So now you get to so now you're able to talk to people and you're able to get your kids out. So now you're doing a double. But don't think that I'm over here just at the park and I'm ignoring my kids and no, I talk to people, I build relationships. Like you just want to be out there. As business people, you have to be out there. Like you have to make yourself visible. But so you have to be very strategic on that and make sure you get sleep. There's gonna be times where you don't sleep. Shoot, when I was a college student, there was like a moment where I didn't sleep for like 2 or 3 days because I was like just just typing away. But I obviously I can't do that now with kids. But as long as you sit down, you've already visualized what you want. Your partner, if you have a partner, and if you have kids, if you've already shared that, now it's easier to be able to plug things in. And you don't have to go by the minute if you can't, but just slots. And just know that if it's family time, that's it. I can't answer your phone call, or if I'm in the business, guys, it's business time. You know I'm working, like you go. And that's how, or for me.
It's true, just like you saw right there. My daughter popped in, I was like, "You know that I'm on here until 4 o'clock. Don't worry, everybody who sees she's little, my mom's here watching her." People are like, "Don't kick your child out." But, it is true, you have to specifically block those things out and then respect the boundaries because it's a lot harder when you're working from home versus in an office, right? In an office, nobody's gonna just pop in on you from, family, friends, that sort of thing. But when you set those office hours, you really have to be intentional about it. So, Veronica, I really respect what you've set up and done. Talk about that early chunk because I noticed in that early chunk, it's like stretching, prayer, sometimes exercise if you're not having the chronic back pain, that sort of thing. When you are tempted to just sleep in and skip that part, what keeps you dedicated to getting up and doing it?
Okay, so sometimes I do sleep. I'm gonna be real with you. Some the real me, I will stay asleep sometimes. Okay, I'll give you an example. Like today, I slept in because my son was real sick the day before, and he was crying the whole night. He was coughing and he was wheezing. He was awful. It was a terrible night. And then during the day, I was so stressed out because we are trying to find the clinic didn't have an opening for him. It was just bad. And so I was like, okay, I'm done. I cannot. And so I just let so you gotta give yourself that moment. But when I do, I think about, okay, you're I don't know if you saw that too. I'm studying for a test on there too. So I'm like, okay, if you have a window, your window is gonna close in January. Like you need to hurry up and get up because you got to study. And then I'm also thinking, okay, if I don't get to my goals and dreams and how if I don't get there faster, I'm not gonna enjoy them because now I'm taking a long time. And then the other thing too, it's so simple. You're gonna think it's crazy. I I'm like, if you don't wake up early, you're not gonna be able to stretch and you're not even gonna be able to brush your teeth because then your kids are gonna be in the restroom trying to get your toothbrush, trying to climb on the toilet while you're trying to brush your teeth, while you're trying to brush your hair. You can't even have a moment to think. Do you really want the kids bothering you in the only moment? Because as you see, there's only me time in the morning and at night. So if I don't take those moments, then I will have these children they wake up and now you're on mom duty. And now you didn't even get to take care of yourself. You didn't get to take a shower. Well, sometimes that happens, just being real. The shower, you don't get to brush your teeth comfortably. And then the other thing too is like I really want to get into that meditation part. I really need to and then especially it's been even more lately where I'm like I need to start visualizing these things because I've added something else on my goals. So now it's like really pushing me more to want to do it. So that's really my thing. And I think also too being a mom, it, your kids are going to be you. If you're not disciplined, your kids will not be disciplined. they're not going to know what the structure looks like. Your kids are not going to know what it's like to prioritize the things that are important. And kids learn by seeing. You're not going to tell them, all right, kids, make sure that when you go live on your own, you wake up early. No, they need to see that. Like I used to see my dad, like I used to hear my dad when he would pray in the morning. Like that's what he would do. So that's something that I feel like I've been doing too, because I heard my dad. I would hear him, and I would hear him with his visualization. I would hear him say, you know what, the I'm he would call things to life. And so that's, I know that's probably a lot what I just said, but that's, all of those things are what really get me out of bed in the morning, even though I wake up with the back pain, but I still do I still do it.
Well, I really appreciate that about you. As we're going into the holiday season, how do you fit in the other little tidbits like, Christmas shopping and holiday events and things like that? Or is it kind of like you're going for this goal at this particular time, and so there aren't a ton of add-ons?
No, well, I've already been thinking about the holidays, and I'm like, because a lot of people sleep during the holidays. I don't mean literally. I mean they sleep and they're like, no. Well, what and okay, let me speak for my house first. For my home, we're always, we try to stay ahead. So before Halloween came or before fall started, we started decorating in August, like our fall stuff, and everybody's like, "Why are you decorating?" Because we're just ahead of the game. So we're already ordering our presents, ordering everything in right now to avoid all of those things. Again, remember, you're just thinking, okay, it's gonna be a lot of traffic. It's gonna be late. Things can be late if I don't start planning, if I don't start doing. But at the end of the day, I also too, like I'm trying to get my kids into that spirit of, no matter what time of the year is, we still have to work. My dad always said, it rains or sleet or whatever, you still work. Like there is no holidays. Like you got to work. So, so if again, if you know where you're going, if you have a due date, you really don't rest. And then plus, because everything's on social media, and just like you, I turn on that laptop and then I close it. You know what? The business is so amazing because we stay with our client for like an hour and then we're done. Like it's not like, let me hang out or let me go through traffic and let me do, all of these things like a normal job. And so no, I'm actually embracing the holidays and trying to run with it, because again, a lot of people sleep. So don't fall asleep, y'all. This is the time where you go in. I know it sounds terrible, but this is a time where you go and you go harder so that you can make more money, because there's a lot of people, business people, that are gonna fall asleep, but you're not, because you're just gonna keep going. When you think it's time to rest, it's not. It's time to go harder. So
Boom. That we were cut from the same cloth. I'm totally with you. That is, it's like the holidays is like, yes, spend time hard with your family, but also you can kind of get ahead. So Veronica, thank you so much for everything. You have been really inspiring and really helpful. One more time, give people your email address in case they want to reach out to you, or website, or whichever one you want to say.
yeah, so it's Stellar Still 87. So Stellar as in STELLAR. Still, my last name STILL 87 at Gmail. Yeah, there you
Thank
go.
you, Veronica. Yep, I just posted it in the chat, so we are good to go. And then don't forget, the replay will be up on Sarah National's YouTube channel. What you'll want to do is when you get to YouTube, you can just search Sarah and it will come up, and you can hit subscribe so that each and every week you can see these and do the replay. Sometimes I'll listen, you can re-listen to them when you're driving in the car, almost like a podcast. You can listen to these, you can listen to them while you're getting ready. So you're just kind of absorbing the information and getting a refresher. More importantly, look how helpful it's in the chat. So you can subscribe there, and then each and every week they will come to you. And I also have an invite for everybody, a save the date, because May 3rd, 2023, yes, because we're decorating for fall in August, and we are talking about the SARE conference coming up on May 3rd, 2023. It's creating gateways to economic equity. So there is just details coming soon, but mark that on the calendar as we are planning ahead. And I look forward to seeing all of you next week. We'll have another excellent speaker and we'll dive into another excellent discussion. So I'll see you next week, same time, same place. And Veronica, thank you so much. Have a beautiful week.
You too. Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Bye-bye.